DJ, I was you know me, I was doing a little bit of math before this podcast episode. And since 1995, me being a Dolphins fan, you being a Green Bay Packer fan, since 1995, the Miami Dolphins have 3 playoff wins. Since 1995, the Green Bay Packers have made the conference championship game 9 times, and they've won 3 times with one more pending. What is more embarrassing for me? The fact that I publicly support this team, or the fact that I first had macaroni and cheese for the first time in 2013? Which of these is more embarrassing?
There's much more embarrassing foods that you didn't eat for a long time than macaroni and cheese. What if you're lactose intolerant? Number one, come on, think about us lactose intolerants out there. It's always been an embarrassment of you saying as a Dolphins fan. So I mean, that has to be it. It's not even close. It's the fact that you live in Wisconsin, you suffer with our greatness, and you somehow continue to have chosen over the last 30 years to be a Dolphins fan. That's an idiotic move.
It was set up perfect for me to be a Packers fan, born and raised in Wisconsin, and I messed it up. So I'm going to start drinking now. Let's get loaded, because this is the Loaded Box Podcast.
We never finished first because we finished last. Holy, that was a fucking quality crack by me.
It was a quality crack. And I am Ben Morgan, and that's DJ Primo. And Jesus, DJ, it's the AFC NFC Conference Championship Preview Podcast. And once again, like I said in the intro, for the 9th time since 1995, you get to enjoy another conference championship appearance as a Packers fan. How do you do it?
It hasn't been that great. We've lost all. This is our 4th one in like 7 years. We've lost the 3 previous ones. It's time to get a win. It's the first time that under the Aaron Rodgers era, we've had a home conference championship game. I feel good about this one. This is the most confident I've felt, except for that Seahawks game where we should have won. This is the most confident I've felt. I just want to give a little ode to Ted Thompson today, RIP. I sent this text message today. I want to read it. Ted, in his very first draft as a brand new GM for the Green Bay Packers, with Brett Favre as his quarterback, dropped his fucking nuts on the table and took the kid out of California in the first round that nobody wanted. Okay, listen to this. Ted could have retired. He could have made a terrible draft pick, which he didn't. He drafted guys like Devontae and Jordy and other guys like that, Bakhtiari. He could have made every terrible draft pick ever. I've not always disagreed with his free agency moves, but that one draft pick, that big of balls in your first draft as a GM with Brett Favre as your quarterback, one of the top 5 quarterbacks of all time, to draft in the first round Aaron Rodgers after free falling, that's a Hall of Fame move, and he's a Hall of Famer.
You want to know the craziest thing about that is Brett Favre was kind of still in his prime. Like, think, what did Aaron Rodgers sit, like 2 or 3 years behind Favre? 3 years. Plus, after Favre left, he still played a year with the Jets and 2 with the Vikings, one of them being at an MVP caliber.
NFC Championship game.
Unbelievable. So like you said, I didn't know where you were going to go with that, but the balls to pull that move off, to make that draft pick at that point in time, unbelievable. Just crazy news before this game comes on.
Yeah, I mean, I'll talk about that when we talk about gambling, but he drafted the best quarterback of all time in his first draft ever as a Packers GM.
And in one of his only, I'm probably a little bit wrong on this, but one of his very few moves to actually trade up in the draft, he traded up to get Clay Matthews. And I know Clay Matthews gets a lot of crap, especially from Packers fans, because you see him in the national media and he's all hyped because of the commercials and the hair and the personality. But man, he was pretty damn good in his prime. That was a hell of a draft pick.
He made one. There's two things that Ted Thompson was great at. It was drafting late round wide receivers and drafting late round offensive linemen. He couldn't draft defensive players versus the shit like cornerbacks, but man, could he pick out a fucking lineman and a late round wide receiver. It was incredible.
Pretty amazing. Yeah, we'll definitely hit more on that, obviously, since there's only 2 games. But as you know, if you're a long-time listener, we're doing our betting preview, and we've only got 2 games, so it'll probably be a little bit shorter than usual, but we're giving our straight-up picks, our against-the-spread picks. We're letting you know if we're carding them. DJ, man, last week. So on official plays, I went 2-0 for plus 0.4 units. However, if I would have just carded every single game we talked about, I'd have had a sweep for the weekend. And you were damn close because you did card every game. And the only one you lost was that Saints-Bucks game.
Yep.
So you went 3-1 plus 0.7 units. So you know what we're doing this week, DJ? We're playing with house money, baby. We're playing with house money.
No, we're just playing every game always. I actually, you know what? I didn't want to leave the people disappointed, so I gave them a little extra treat here. You think I can't find a way to bet multiple games? Not just the props, because we'll get to those, but you think I can't find a way to bet multiple things? I will find you 4 bets.
That's true.
And it's just over. I'm going to tell them. It's over-unders and the spreads in every game. I give it all out. I ain't scared.
Yeah, and I forgot to mention that. DJ spot on. We're going to hit on the games, and also it's prop bet season, baby. Like, I like props throughout the year, but once like this week and Super Bowl hit, man, it's props galore. Love it. So, DJ, do you want to start with that Buccaneers-Packers game, or do you want to save that for the finale? Your call.
Yeah, I was thinking about this too, since there's like we had like no props on
Bills Chiefs. It's tough.
On the Bills Chiefs, and that's the night game. And I guess it doesn't really matter because it doesn't really matter which order we go in, because we either end with the short one and just get out of the way, or we start with the short one and end with the long one. I don't care.
You know what? I want to catch you while you're fresh. I want to catch you while you're ready to go. Maybe let's just start. Let's jump in right away with the Packers.
Go in order.
We have got the Packers favored by 3.5. We have got an over/under of 51.5. And if you are watching this on the live version, either on YouTube or Twitter, as DJ is pointing at, you'll see the scrolling bar on the bottom there not only has the spread, but also has a few fun facts about this game. Against the spread for the season, Tampa Bay is 10-8 against the spread. The Green Bay Packers are second best in the NFL, 11-6. And if you go back to week 6, when these teams originally played, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers rolled them 38-10. But DJ, I don't think that game matters. We're in a new location. It's playoffs. It's do or die. It's Rodgers versus Brady. I think the loyal listeners know exactly where you're going with this, but go ahead and tell everybody.
Yeah, I mean, the week 6, was it week 6, week 3? Week 6 game matters about as much as, and Rodgers said this, but I mean, I was thinking it as well, but it matters as much as the, I don't remember what game it was, but the first matchup between the Saints and the Buccaneers, that was 38
2 matchups.
Well, the first one was 38-3.
The blowout, yeah.
The Saints won 38-3. You know what? The Buccaneers ended up winning. Saints should have won that game. If that was, I honestly think if they don't fumble that ball, Jared Cook, they're going down to score and take a 2-score lead. They end up winning that game, but that changed it entirely.
Yeah.
4 turnovers. That's not what we're talking about. I'll get to that. All right. So obviously, like Ben said, if you know me, I always bet on Green Bay. And guess what? If I only bet on Green Bay this year, $100 on every game, I'd be up money. I'd be up money. You all be up money. If that's the only game I gave out for like a whole unit, 3 units, whatever, we'd be nailing it, right? We bet Alabama and we bet Green Bay Packers every game.
The Packers alone would be hitting you at 65%.
Yeah, that's incredible. It's so fun
and gambling worthy.
And it's really annoying because like that exists, and if I had enough discipline, I could do something like that, like only bet 2 teams every week. But I can't. I can't do it. I'm going the Packers. As always, I'm going 0.7 units. I'm going big. I'm confident, right? When you get a death game, you get somebody who dies going into a game, it's over. Like, you can't not bet Green Bay. There should be 99% of bets on Green Bay, and they're all going to hit. The 1% is going to be Buccaneers fans. The 99% is going to be Packers and public. Everybody should be on Tampa Bay. This honestly, you should get it now at 3. Was it 3 we have it at?
We have it at 3.5 here. It was at 3 a couple days ago. We're recording this Thursday evening, by the way.
So because it's going to be up to 6 by Sunday because of the Ted Thompson thing. Yep, it's just going to keep going up. That's what it is. People are just going to smash it. You cannot bet. You cannot not bet on a team after a big death game. This is Super Bowl is like almost guaranteed. I can feel it. I can taste it.
Are you basically thinking that a former Buccaneer has to fall on the sword for them to even have a chance in this game?
Somebody's got to have to die.
Unbelievable take.
Mm-hmm. Look, this matchup, I love it. I wanted this game. That game obviously was an anomaly because the Packers continued to play awesome throughout the season. Best offense in the league. That secondary for Tampa Bay is really shitty. They get their pressure by blitzing like crazy. It worked against Green Bay in week 1. They're going to try it again. It's not going to work. They're going to try to blitz. The Packers will get the ball out quick. They're going to They're going. I got a nice question in the chat, and I was actually going to say that I had a prediction. So we'll get to the prediction, injury prediction, when we're talking about the prop bets. Actually, so I'll get there if you keep watching because I have an injury prediction in the prop bets.
You're 1-0 lifetime. It sounds erroneous, but you are 1-0 lifetime doing this.
It's an easy one. But I think you're gonna run. The Packers are gonna run a lot of off tackles with Aaron Jones. He's gonna find some holes. I think he's gonna be able to run that ball, and I think he's gonna run it more than what we expect because I feel like I see the Buccaneers get a little bit undisciplined on the edges when all of their strength is kind of in the middle of that defense with Sue and stuff. So yeah. I think we're gonna run. We couldn't run in that first game, and then it just happened to where we just couldn't run because we were down by so much.
He had 10 carries for 15 yards, if I remember right.
Wasn't a good game. I don't know if we'll see much out of AJ Dillon after that fumble. That's just too scary. Like the Packers. Oh, don't turn it over. That's the other thing. We don't turn the ball over. It took the Buccaneers 4 turnovers,
right,
to win that game, and they struggled. Brady was not good.
Well, Brady, they scored offensively when the defense set them up with short field.
Exactly. He was not good. Thing. They had like 199 yards passing. Guess who doesn't turn the ball over? The Green Bay Packers.
Right.
Period. Aaron Jones does not fumble. Aaron Rodgers rarely throws an interception. If he does, it's one. There's typically not more than one. He won't do it against Tampa Bay.
2 again this week, and one of them is not going to get gone for a pick 6. Like there's 0% chance that happens.
It just doesn't happen. So I think that everything would have to go right for the Buccaneers to win. But I've compared this game, and I've done it a million times. 2010 Super Bowl year, Aaron Rodgers. We got smashed by the Falcons in the regular season. We played the Falcons in the NFC divisional round. Do you remember what Aaron Rodgers did to the Falcons that game?
Didn't he only throw like a few, like less than 5 incompletions?
He had 4 incompletions. He was 31. I'm not even looking this up. I just know. He was 31 of 35. He was busting magic. I remember John Abraham sacked him and did the belt. And biggest mistake of his life. Yep. Rodgers was unconscious that game. He was doing magic tricks. He was running out of the pocket. You're going to see Rodgers played only like a B game against the Rams. That was a B game that we had, and we were in control of that game the whole time for Rodgers and the Packers offense. There is an A+ game coming out of Rodgers in this game going into Tampa because you could afford to play a B game against that Rams team. Their offense wasn't shit. We were kind of running all over their defense. He's locked into this game after that defense, kind of gave him some material from the first game and. Devin White and Levante are, they're good. Devin White's like a little shit.
Devin White is everywhere. If you watch him play, that guy is everywhere. He's unbelievable. He's in his second year.
Yeah. And, a monster and I was in love with him. I remember I was obsessed with him. Devontae's going to eat.
Good. He's
Devontae's going to eat. He's only had an average game. He should scare you too.
He does. I'll talk
he's
about
going
him.
to crush these guys. I honestly think it might end up being a rout. I just have a feeling.
So I'm going to agree with you. Oh yeah.
I also am going to give out the under for 0.2 units. As I mentioned, there's 4 units. There was 4 turnovers by the Saints, which caused Tampa Bay to score, to actually score points. If that Jared Cook fumble doesn't happen, I think the Saints win. And Tampa Bay, like I said, they were struggling to move the ball. I think they're going to struggle to score on us. Our defense has been massively improved. Our secondary is good. Jair's going to shut down Mike Evans if he's on his side, Chris Godwin if he's on his side, because Jair stays on one side. I'm not afraid of playoff Lenny as he's been called. Like I don't think that's going to be a consistent thing. I think the Packers are going to stuff that run a game because Leonard Fournette just stinks. So I'm worried about Tom Brady.
I don't know that I've ever heard that.
You haven't?
No.
People are calling him playoff Lenny. He even tweeted it after the game.
Interesting. It sounds like a self-given nickname, and that's like the biggest.
No, somebody gave it to him. Pardon my take, actually did, but
what a mistake.
But I just think they're going to have trouble scoring, and I think the Packers will score 28-32, but I just don't 28 or 32 points, and I just think the Buccaneers are going to get to like 17. Does that get them over?
You asked me to do more math before the podcast?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't get them over. 32 doesn't even get them over with 17 points.
Very specific prediction. I like that they're going to score 28 or 32.
28-32.
Okay, so a range.
Yes, like a dash in between.
I think when you originally said it, you said or. So I thought maybe you were onto something. I thought you knew something.
No, 28 to 32 points.
DJ, I have to agree with you. I'm going straight up Packers. I'm going against the spread Packers. I actually told you a couple weeks ago that I bet on the Packers to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl. So I've got that riding on this. And then I texted you this morning and said, oh, man, my jinx is coming through at some point because I bet on the Packers to win the Super Bowl today as well. So I'm hoping I'm not jinxing it. But, man, I have to agree with you in this one. And what I would tell you to do, I am going to card this. I am going to put 0.2 units on it. But what I would tell you to do is move this line to 3. And it's not that I'm super scared of it. It's just it's one of 2 games that you're going to bet on all week. You don't have the Sunday night and the Monday night chaser game. Just take this game to the full advantage and move it to 3. And DJ, the reason why I think you should move it to 3 is sort of inspired by one of our writers, contributors to the Loaded Box podcast, our boy Patrick O'Doyle. I know he's not O'Doyle, but we like to call him O'Doyle.
Who's POD?
POD. So what he was talking about Tom Brady in our group chat. And he was talking about, there's pressure and Tom Brady has to play in the cold in a championship game. He called a championship game the Tom Brady Invitational. And Jesus, if that isn't accurate, I don't know what is. So that scares me a little bit because it's not like Tom Brady's out of his element. You would think Tampa Bay, okay, they're used to warm weather and whatnot. Not the case with a lot of these guys. You look at playoff Lenny, whatever. I don't care about that. Tom Brady played in Foxborough all these years. Literally could be Green Bay with the snow, the cold, the wind.
No, they have more rain and precipitation.
Like, all these guys, DJ, like they don't have so many that are just like the Lamar Jacksons and the Tua Tagovailoas of the world that have never played in something below 35 and never played in snow. The atmosphere, what are they going to have, like 8,000 some fans again?
Yeah, they had 9,000 last game. I'm pretty sure it was like 12.
Right, that's how that usually goes.
There was way more than I know they said 6,000 tickets. They said 9,000. I think it was 12 to 15.
Yeah. Regardless, home field advantage matters. Don't get me wrong, especially in this game, especially in Lambeau. But when it's Tom Brady, who's been doing this and dominating the Tom Brady Invitational for damn near 2 decades, it's not going to get to him that way. So take advantage of this game. Move that line to 3. I don't think you can wait for it anymore because I agree with you. When this line came out, I was like, dude, the only reason this line is what it is because the public loves Tom Brady.
Oh, yeah.
See Tom Brady in a conference championship game and says, yes, why wouldn't I bet on this guy? The guy lives in the Super Bowl. You have to do it. And Vegas isn't calling this 3.5 because they think the Packers are 3.5 points better. They're trying to get 50% on each side.
That's what.
So
I mean,
this is the line. This is the line that Vegas put out to say, hey, this is how we're going to get even money on both sides. I think the Packers, honestly, should probably be favored by 6 to maybe 7 points.
I think like 4.5 is probably fair.
I think that's even too low. That's why I don't mind 3.5, but the Tom Brady factor does play in there for me. So add the extra couple of bucks to it, buy the half point, get it to 3, and do what we're doing right now. Enjoy a few Busch Lights and enjoy all the money you're going to win as the Packers coast to the Super Bowl.
Did you see the weather for it, though? But I know, obviously, he's played it. It's 29 degrees and snow. Do you remember how well the Packers played in that snow game against Tennessee? How confident they were.
Tennessee shouldn't have even shown up.
How confident they were with running their routes. It just looked like they were more confident. So Tom Brady isn't the only guy playing in Green Bay. You've got a million guys on that offense that have not played in snow, in cold weather, or on the offense and defense that haven't played in this type of weather at all. So who knows if Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are going to be comfortable running routes in the snow and the cold. Tom Brady might be fine, but what about the rest of the guys around him? Leonard Fournette, has he ever even seen snow? Like I don't know.
Well, he had to play in cold weather games in the playoffs before, and you've got Godwin who played at Penn State, and Mike Evans, yeah, he played at Texas A&M. He played there his entire career, so he probably doesn't have quite as much experience. But
Devin White was in LSU.
These guys can't tackle. These guys will be fine in that weather. I'm not.
I don't think it's different.
It's
a mental edge.
That scares me.
It's a mental edge. I mean, Gronkowski will be out there. That helps him.
Dude lives in the snow.
It is a mental edge that Green Bay has with the fans and with the snow and with the weather. They just know what they can do. Like they know, and those wide receivers aren't as confident. And I think that's going to throw the timing off for Brady. The deep pass timing won't be there. They're going to struggle with their timing because those wide receivers are going to struggle.
I hope for that because I would win multiple bets, DJ. I got 3 things riding on this. If you want to, do you want to head into the props? Do you want to just go kind of every other on these?
Sure. What is I see Ryan says, does the atom? What does that mean?
I think maybe one of his children took over his computer and asked that one, and then he's got a random Tom Brady tuck rule.
Well, it's a snow game. I got it.
Hopefully the tuck rule doesn't come into play.
Well, it changed, so it's a fumble if he does tuck rule.
There you go. DJ, what is your first?
The only tuck rule he's going to have is his dick tucked between his legs because he's all scared because he's getting his ass kicked by the Smith brothers. What's the question?
What's your first prop bet?
All righty. My first prop bet, everybody's going to be like, oh, Homer. It is Aaron Jones over 62.5 rushing yards. I said, I've seen some holes in the edge of that defense that I've liked. But some defense have exploited a little bit with that Tampa Bay. Obviously, they've been one of the better run defenses in the league. We were able to run against, who did we play last week? St. Louis. St. Louis, LA. I don't even know anything. We were able to run against LA pretty well, and they've been one of the top defenses all in the NFL in general, both against the run and the pass. And Aaron Jones was running like a man on fire. You could see in that first half, I had a buddy text me like, Jones is close to breaking one. And then the first play of that second half, he busts like that 60-yard long run. I have a feeling that little off tackle, 6-hole, 5-hole is going to be where he makes his hay. I think he get close to that in the first half. I think he's going to come out fresh and on fire like he was. I think he'll be around 40 to 50 yards at the end of that first half. And we'll easily get that over in the third quarter. I love this over 62.5.
Where did the phrase making his hay come from?
I don't know. I have no idea, but it just popped up in my head. All right.
One of those deals where it doesn't make sense, but you know how to use it in a sentence. Do you went with it?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's try to avoid those moving forward.
No, you do it all the time.
No, call me out then.
Oh, I've called you out 1 billion times in the past. You
call me out 1,000,001. I think you're a liar.
You usually mix up 2 different things and put them in
one. That's
one.
what I do. Yes. I'm going to skip my first one and go straight into this because I'm on the exact opposite. I actually had the line at 57.5 rushing yards for Aaron Jones, and I'm going under. I think this is going to be a game, like I already said, that the Packers are going to win, but I think it's going to get done through the air. I don't think the Tampa Bay secondary is as trash as you say it is, but I do think their run defense, the middle of that defensive line, and their linebackers is really good. And I don't think we're going to see Aaron Jones. I'm not basing this off of the Week 6 game where we had 15 yards and they weren't running the ball because they were down by so much. I just see this team right now kind of going in a different direction where they know that what they're going to be able to get out of Aaron Rodgers and Adams, and they know how just consistent they are right now. And you know what they've been doing? And you obviously know what they've been doing. They've been platooning these running backs. So if it was just the 2 guys, Williams and Jones, and they were using them nonstop, like what they were early in the season when Jones was dominating, this line, even at what you have, it would be a steal. You would absolutely go over. But there's been a bit of a transition, and they're really just – I don't want to say they're even feeding the hot hand. It's almost like they're going like on a scripted series-by-series kind of deal where Aaron Jones is getting the bulk of the carries. But I think Green Bay, they really set the tone early in that game against the Rams where they like, oh, shit, we can run the ball. We're going to keep doing this because it's going to open up that play action later. They're not going to have that kind of success, in my opinion, against the Buccaneers. So I don't think we're going to see Jones with as many touches. So I think you're pretty safe with the under on this one. I like your line better. I'll take the 62.5 over 57.
They saved Jones. They saved Jones throughout the season for these very moments. This is they know who's the best running back in that backfield. Yeah. They're not out here trying to get Aaron Rodgers all those touchdowns in the regular season like they purposely were, I swear, at the goal line. Although you know what I thought was interesting is how they were talking about the Packers just run inside the 10-yard line. They're not like any other team. They just run regular offense. They don't change anything. They don't care. And it obviously works, but I just
how great was that the play call and the route on that short touchdown to Devontae Adams against Jalen Ramsey. That play is unguardable.
Yeah.
I saw someone tweet, it was a former defensive back. Unless you have the best communication, and that other cornerback comes off and just sprints at him as a touchdown every time.
Well, Rodgers had a plan. Like, they had 2 plays during that sprint. So, like, if he came in motion and sprinted back and they switched, he was just going to, like, hand the ball off. But I mean, there was a run play to the left, but he could see that he
saw Ramsey chasing.
And Ramsey was chasing, like, and he was just like, well, this is easy. Like, that was, it was great. The combination of LaFleur's play calling with Aaron Rodgers reading what's happening at the offense. Like, he gets to go up there with 3 play calls and choose which one's the best. And there's no better combination because LaFleur is just calling these plays that we've wanted McCarthy to do forever, where guys are crossing each other's face. MVS is playing well. Like, you saw I know it wasn't the same play, but did you see all the gifs of Aaron Rodgers smiling on that one play?
Yeah, unbelievable. When
it actually wasn't the touchdown pass to Lazard. I
thought it was.
No, that's a farce. That's a completely different play. It was he was laughing about something. He was talking shit, I think, with a linebacker. And, he tried to get somebody offside at the end of the quarter, and they said, clock. And Rodgers smiled because he was like, oh, shit, they know already, so why am I wasting my time? But he still tried it. So he talked about that. If you don't watch Aaron Rodgers on the Pat McAfee show every Tuesday, you need to. Everybody out there, it's fucking amazing. But, yeah, it would be cool if that's what he's smiling at. But you hear all these guys on NFL Network talking about there's no bigger villain. And I don't know if I texted you about this or if it was another buddy. There's no bigger villain in NFL history than when Aaron Rodgers is like smiling, because it's so like frustrating and it's maddening.
Imagine being a defensive back and you see that and your heart has to sink. You're like, he's coming at me one way or another, whether it's deception with the eyes or just throwing it to a spot. I can't defend this.
It's just when he's out there smiling, it's just demoralizing because you're fucked and you're angry and he's having fun. And I texted a buddy and I was like, I think it was Logan, intern Logan. I was like, do you think I would hate Aaron Rodgers if he was on another team? Like, I wanted to ask you, do you like enjoy watching him, or does it just like, do you kind of just hate him? Like, just do you inside? I feel like I'd have a fury, like this anger towards him at the way he plays, but since he's on my team, I am madly in love with him.
Some people would. I have this like appreciation for greatness, and I will try to watch like every second of it as possible. That's why I have 2 TVs in the basement, so I can have the Dolphins on one and another great game on the other one, especially to save me when the Dolphins game isn't very good. But like you're Rodgers. Like I loved the Breeze Brady game just because it's 2 legends that were going against each other for the last time. The LeBron Jameses of the world. Like I love that kind of stuff. So I can't even get super mad at it.
It's just, I feel like I can't picture it because I love him. So I literally have shrines to him all over my basement. But I have a jersey with 2 lights on it, like he's Jesus Christ up there, but he is better, honestly. I just can't. I can't.
Telling me Jesus Christ can't run a 7-yard slant?
No, he can't. I think I'd hate him. I think I would hate him with all my might, and I can see why people get so mad at me and like why Pat O'Doyle yells at me and gets frustrated. Like, I get it.
While we're talking about Rodgers,
shit. I have to get my computer charger. My computer's going to die. I forgot to plug it in right away.
Fair enough. I'll start talking about a prop bet that I have for Rodgers. I'm going over his 283.5 passing yards. You're betting 112 to win 100 on this. It's the exact opposite of what I said about Aaron Jones. I think if the Bucks can really commit to stopping the run and making the Packers one-dimensional, and if there even is a chance that this could be a little bit of a back and forth game with the Packers, with the Bucks, obviously, with Tom Brady being involved, you're going to see Aaron Rodgers throwing the ball all over the place. And if he has, I was trying to think about the number of attempts he would even need to eclipse 283.5 passing yards.
21.
Well, in a perfect world, that would be great. But I think you wouldn't even need him to throw the ball over 30, 35 times, honestly, if he's clicking. If they're going to do a bunch of short intermediate routes and it's a slowed down game, yeah, it'll be a struggle. But I think if the Bucks make them a little bit one-dimensional, the game's not going to be quite as fast because of all the running plays and everything. I don't think 283 is too much. So I'm going to go over on that. I don't know if you heard the numbers on that one, DJ, but it's 112 to win 100. Over on Rodgers passing yards, 283.5.
Yep, I read that. I saw that. I don't hate it. I saw it. I was scared for a couple of reasons. And one of them is that what you pointed to, the ball's going to be out of Aaron Rodgers' hands quick. Yeah. You did talk about the fact that you don't think they're going to run the ball. They have to run the ball. They're not going to sit back and pass. This team is predicated on running the ball and then running play action off of it. So they have to run the ball. They don't have a choice. That's what makes their offense right now the best offense in the league. And that's what makes them go. They're not changing their plan based off the defense they're playing. They're going to do what makes them go. If they get in a situation like a 4-minute time or they're down 10 points, then maybe they start to throw it a little bit more. But that's not going to happen. That's not going to happen. They have to run the ball.
But I don't think it's wrong to say that they can commit to the run, but not have like a ton of success where it's eating up all the yards. Like I think Rodgers is still going to have to throw to get the chunk yardage, to get the bulk of the yardage, but they can still run to keep the defense honest. Like I don't think they're not going to be cracking off 6, 7, 10-yard runs all the time against this team.
If they can't run effectively, then that third down pass play becomes less effective.
But it's more opportunities, though, to get the yards for my passing over.
Yeah, Rodgers can do anything. Obviously, he stood in the fucking end zone eating a sandwich, making me panic last week, somehow getting off. I still don't understand that pass. I know I talked about it with you, but I still don't understand him standing in his own end zone with chaos around him calmly moving to the right while I'm jumping out like he's going to get a fucking safety and then throwing a bullet to Allen Lazard over the middle for a first down on a 2nd and 20.
Very overrated play. I watched the video that you're talking about. If you actually look at his legs, because I read the tweet about how, like, if you think you're chill, watch this video of Aaron Rodgers in his own end zone. Watch his feet. The dude looks like Fred Flintstone in the intro of the Flintstones. He's paddling all over the place.
He's not standing there. He's got to move, but he just didn't care.
I wouldn't consider that chill.
He didn't even care. It was like nothing was happening around him. He was just like, oh, I'll move over here and then throw this perfect ball. Like he didn't even, like somebody could have been running up behind him after that 5 seconds he had in the pocket and knocking it out, but he acted like there was nothing going on.
He's got good pocket presence. What can I say?
Just like Tyler Tannehill.
Unlike Tyler Tannehill. What's your next prop bet, DJ?
All right, I've got Allen Lazard under 48.5 receiving yards. People are going to overreact to the game last week, which I predicted he'd have a solid game. Damn it, I did a pregame and I predicted I did a pregame video on here live, and I predicted that EQ would score a touchdown. And fuck if he didn't get to the 4-yard line, I thought he was going to score on that first drive. I also predicted, I can't remember, I said Z was going to be huge and one other player who was actually pretty good. So my predictions were good in that game. But going back to Lazard, I think people are going to think too much about last week's game. Lazard hasn't been catching balls. He hasn't been involved since his injury. That was the first game where he's really like made some big plays. And earlier, MVS should have scored a long touchdown, but Aaron Rodgers just threw the ball out of bounds. And he said he even said I should have broke that game wide open.
Yep.
Obviously, we went ahead and scored later.
He doesn't miss that pass too often. I bet he completes that thing. I'm thinking like 8.5 to 9 times out of 10.
Easily. I don't know what happened on that throw. He got excited, or he launched that thing out of bounds.
Was the rumor that I heard about wind coming from the tunnel a real thing, or was that an excuse? Did you hear that one?
I did not hear that. He just said he missed it on the Pat
I heard
McAfee
something
show.
about wind.
No, he just launched that into the moon. But I just think you can't overreact to last week's game. They had a plan for Lazard. No surprise. Right. I actually bet the over for Lazard receiving yards and used him in DFS. So I wasn't because I thought it was a good matchup for him. I thought he was going to get a lot of one-on-one opportunity with just focus on Devontae and Ramsey. So I just don't think he's going to be involved. He doesn't really get that many. He gets 1 or 2 targets, maybe 3 targets a game. I think there's going to be another guy I just mentioned, but we'll talk about him on another prop bet later.
Fair enough. I'm not going to take too much time on my next prop bet because it's one more Aaron Rodgers prop bet. Over 2.5 touchdowns, plus 140. So I'm on the non favored side of this one, but I love the payoff that you get on this. And it comes back to what you said. The Green Bay Packers don't run the same offense inside the 10-yard line that everyone else does. They
their own
offense. Like that they're anywhere on the field. And that creates such not only mismatches, but just total confusion for defenses because most people are like, oh, it's 1st and goal at the 1. This is going to have to be a run. Not when the Green Bay Packers are playing. Like, not even close. It's probably a slant to Devontae or body
sprint.
catching it. There's a lot of different options that are going on there. So I'm going to play like the less favorite on this one, and I'm going to go over 2.5 passing touchdowns.
Yeah, I mean, I think you hit it exactly. It was going to be my point to support you on this one. Is they don't care where they are. They run this. I already said it. They run their offense no matter where they are on the field, and all their offense involves a lot of play action. So play action on first down, from first and goal continues to work for them. Whether Rodgers finds as the first guy. Or the fourth guy, like he did with Big Bob in like week 3, where he was like looking, all of a sudden Big Bob was just standing in the end zone, or he runs it and jukes out, like has the sweetest juke pass of all time.
Yeah, I just don't want him running him in this time. Can't have that.
Yeah,
I'm gonna go.
I have a bet.
Touchdown.
Yeah, I have a bet that I agree with that as well. So hopefully his first touchdown pass is to my guy coming up later.
Let's go to your Adams prop bet, because then I can follow it up with my Adams prop bet, because we have 2 different
ones.
All
right. I've got, and this goes back to what we were saying about quick passes. I got Devontae Adams' first reception under 11.5 yards. The Packers like to do those little quick tosses to Devontae and let him try to make a move. Usually he gets about 5-6 yards of that. I think that's going to be one of the first plays of the game when the Packers get the ball. I think the first play of the game is going to be step back, throw a quick pass out to Devontae, because they're going to be playing 8-9 yards off, and he's going to catch it and run for 6-7 yards. That's my prediction for this first play. It's get the ball out early, or a quick slant, whatever, not a big play. Rodgers gets it, gets out, because I think he's going to be kind of seeing what they're doing with their blitz game. So it's going to be like, let's get it and get it out quick to see what the linebackers in front are doing. So, and I think that's how he sets up to kind of get a feel for what the defense is. I love the under 11.5 on the first reception.
DJ, I hope you lose that one, because I want him to get 90 yards on his first reception, because I'm going over 89.5 for his yards on the game. It's -112. When I look at that many yards, if you look at that total of yardage, that's what you're going to get in any game's prop bets from like an elite receiver. Like if you look at Tyreek Hill's last week, I think it was like right at like 89, 90, 91 yards. This is one of the more higher bets that you're going to get. So you're relying on Devontae Adams to get a lot of yards, get a lot of targets. And that's what he's done lately. He's got double-digit targets in 5 of his last 6 games. And if you look at the yardage totals throughout the year, like he's had some baller weeks, obviously with the catches, obviously with the touchdowns, but also with the yards. And he's had a couple of games in a row here now where he hasn't hit that 90-yard mark. It's happening, man. The stats are going to equal out. Over 90 on this one. It's damn near an even bet.
I don't understand why he can't have a 6-yard catch and still easily go over 90.
He can, but I'd rather win the bet right away.
I mean, he doesn't have like breakaway speed. So once he catches it, he has guys beat. He's probably not going 90 and beating those guys.
Here's the deal. All the other guys need to do is just fall down, and then we don't even need to worry about the speed anymore.
There you go. God damn it. I thought I had this shit all under control.
DJ just left the podcast for a reason that we're going to find out in a little bit. Well, he's back now. What ended up happening there, DJ?
Well, somehow this fucking charger that we got was a new charger, and it unplugs in literally 3 different spots in the middle of the charger.
I don't even know if I understand what happened there. It sounds like
there's different. You know how like your phone charger, you can take the USB out.
Oh, yep.
It has like 7 of those in the middle.
That sounds like a pain in the ass.
It just falls apart all the time.
Nice. DJ, I've got 1 prop bet left for this game. Do you have any more on this one?
Oh, yeah, I have 3 more.
Oh, Jesus. You better whip through yours.
All right. What do you want me to do?
Do one.
All right. I've got MVS over 32.5 receiving yards. This is the Marquez Valdez-Scantling game. First drive of the game. I think we've got a setup. I think we got them those quick passes. And who was the pick 6 guy? Who was the guy that picked 6 us fucking in that first game?
Oh, yes. I don't remember who did that.
He's going to get sluggoed by MVS, and it's going to be a touchdown in that first. It's going to be a 50-yard. We're going to get to like the 50-yard line. He's going to get sluggoed. They're going to run a fake or maybe an out and up, something like that. They're going to run like a little fake. It's just going to take 1 quick pump to MVS. Gone. He gets it right away.
What you're saying here is MVS is going to catch at least 1 pass, right? Because MVS doesn't catch short passes that often.
And he's been targeted more. He's been, I'm telling you guys, he's been targeted more than Lazard. I don't even know the stats, but up to last game, Obviously, Lazard got targeted more and more receptions. MVS has been targeted more than Lazard and been more of a target. And like I said, if he, if he doesn't miss that pass, MVS has a huge game last week. Obviously, he dropped some balls, but they're finding ways to get him open and coming across, and he's been making some decent catches. I don't know how he drops the easy ones and catches the weird looking ones, but MVS is, I think he's the number 2 target at the wide receiver position right now.
I didn't see this one. I think I'm with you on this one. The one area where you're setting yourself up for heartbreak is if he gets his one deep pass and he's got 3 steps on the guy and it goes through his arms, and you're going to be hit for multiple reasons, because you're a Packers fan, because you bet on him, and then because you have the MVS over.
If
and
he doesn't just turn around, if he's that wide open and he doesn't just turn around and like punt, catch, baby cradle it, I don't care. Like just catch it and see if he can get up and roll into the end zone. Like, I'd rather have him catch the ball and get tackled short than drop it.
Yep, I hear you. I only have one left, so since you have 2, let's go to one more of yours.
All right, here is the injury prediction. Mike Evans under 65.5 receiving yards. Number 1, he's probably going to be near Jair Alexander unless they put use him over on Kevin King's side. But I think this is it. This is the injury. They're nice. This is the Mike Evans injury. He's been injured like every fucking game that he plays in. He's going to get injured. He'll probably get in like a little scuffle with Jair Alexander and somehow get injured that way or something like that. He'll pull up on the hamstring. He'll be out like a quarter, which is going to affect him the rest of the game. And he'll be like a kind of a decoy. He'll stay in the game, but he'll be injured and he won't be relevant and just be a guy that takes either like Jair out of the game because he's not going to be used that much anyways.
It pains me to say, but the exact reason you just said, really because of the injury, and I should have seen this coming, is the reason I left Mike Evans out of all of my prop bets. And I actually am somewhat tempted to just go under on all of them. Because one, if Jair Alexander is on a healthy Mike Evans, he's still not going to hit the over on those. And yeah, he's been like battling these nagging injuries recently. Boom, one bad thing happens. You just won all of your Mike Evans unders. So I sort of like that, but that bleeds in well to my last prop on this game. I'm taking Chris Godwin as an anytime touchdown scorer. So if you're new to betting, what that means is throughout the game, all he needs to do, I shouldn't say all he needs to do, but he needs to score a touchdown. And I'm betting yes, that he will. And it's plus 160. Which also, if you're new to betting, that means you're betting $100. And if he scores a touchdown, you win 160. But over his last 5 games, he's got a touchdown in 4 of those last 5. And during that span, he's got a total of 5 receiving touchdowns.
2 years.
I love it because I think Chris Godwin is going to see less of Jair Alexander. Also because I think that the Buccaneers are going to score in this game, and I don't think it's going to be Mike Evans. So now you're like Chris Godwin and Gronkowski probably.
Yeah, damn it, you ruined my next comment.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not ruined it, but ruined my comment on what you were going to say. Gotcha. What you were saying.
But those are your options. Like, those are the guys that are going to get it. And I've always been a Chris Godwin fan. I know in that opening round game against Washington, he had the Jerry Jeudy backwards hands going, which was a little bit disheartening. But drops have never been an issue for this guy in the past. And I don't think he made some really nice grabs in that game against the Saints last week. I know he dropped that one in the back of the end zone, but I don't even really classify that as a drop. I think that would have been a hell of a catch, more so than anything. But yeah, I like this. I like the odds that you're getting, and I think that the Buccaneers are going to score. And I think Godwin really has the better odds than even Evans in this. And Evans, if you look at the odds, Evans' odds are worse than Godwin's. And by worse, I mean you have to bet. You don't win as much as if Godwin was your bet. I murdered the wording in there, but hopefully you understand.
The odds are actually better to score.
Yeah, man, I'm out on that. I've been drinking Busch Lights.
Yeah.
Give me Chris Godwin as an anytime scorer.
I was going to say I actually like Gronk more because I think you'd get better odds to bet Gronk to score a touchdown, and the Packers just can't stop tight ends.
You would, but man, Brate is part of this still. They have too many tight ends.
It's still Gronk, and I think he scored on us the first game, and it's just we just can't. I don't know. He'll score. He'll score. Like, he will score on us at some point. It won't matter, but he'll score.
Put that as one of your prop bets. Then there you go.
Nope. My last one is the first TD of the game. I mean, lock this in. Big Bob Tanyan.
Let me cut you off right there because my favorite prop bet in any game is first touchdown score because you're just constantly like, oh my God, we need the ball. Or when your team is on defense, you're like, 3-0, 3-0. We got to get a chance. We got to get a chance. It's the most enticing bet, but it's the bet no one ever wins.
I hit one time this year. It was great. It was the best day of my life. I couldn't believe it. I was like, oh, what the fuck just happened? I actually hit it. It was a big one. I hit like $160 on a $10 bet on that one.
So it covered all your losses from the other 17 weeks.
So amazing. I mean, the entire season. So I basically broke even on first touchdown bets.
Yep.
But I will counter that. I didn't put this on here. I always counter it with somebody from the other team because you get better odds on first touchdown of the game instead of doing like first touchdown for this team. I like to do first touchdown of the game and one from each team because you're gonna win more if you hit it. So I would counter that with the other tight end and Rob Gronkowski. So I would do Tanyan plus, I think it was 1,200.
Yep.
Plus 1,200 to score the touchdown. He scored like 11 touchdowns this year. You have to do that. And then Gronk on the other side because we can't stop him. So bet both of those.
You know the worst thing when you make that bet is when you have like that Steelers-Browns game where the first snap of the game goes over the guy's head and it's a defensive touchdown. And all of your hopes and dreams just come crashing down.
Or when your guy gets like tackled. I mean, I bet the first touchdown of the game in the Bama game, and I took what was that guy's name?
Oh, that's right.
And he caught a swing pass, and I was like, "Here we go!" And he got tackled at like the 4-yard line. I was so pissed.
Yeah, I forgot who it was. It wasn't Waddle in it.
Mechie.
Yeah, Mechie. There you go. Yep. DJ, are we ready to move on to the AFC? The Bills.
Remember when you said that this was going to be a shorter podcast?
Yeah, we're 46 and a half minutes into this puppy, and we haven't.
And now we're on the second game.
But hey, this one's going to be shorter because we have like zero prop bets. I found one that I kind of like.
Yeah, I don't have any.
All right, DJ, I switched the bottom so you can see all the fun facts about this game if you're watching it on Twitter or YouTube. It's the Bills at the Chiefs. You got the Chiefs favored by 3. You got an over-under of 54. Looking at the season long against the spread, the Bills have been good. 12-6 against the line. Chiefs, on the other hand, not so much. 7-10 against the spread. In their last 10, DJ, the Bills are 9-1, and over that same span, the Bills are 9-1. If I'd said that wrong, the Chiefs are 1-9, like a tale of two different worlds here.
You know what? My stat book showed me 8-1 for the Chiefs. So
thank you for the very minor update from your person that has a half-point difference probably on one of the lines. Regardless. DJ, you already said that you're making carded plays on teams and totals. Enlighten us. What are you doing here?
I think it's the Bills' year. I want to see the world burn. And by that, I mean the Bills would literally burn the world down if they win and go to the Super Bowl. Buffalo would. I am betting the Bills money line plus 145. Not sprinkling, I'm betting it. 0.2 units. Take that money line. The Bills are going to win this game. The Chiefs have just, number one, hardest thing to do right now. You know, people used to do it all the time in the 90s, back-to-back, 80s, 90s, back-to-back Super Bowl appearances. Obviously, the Patriots have done it. But, I mean, teams just don't go back-to-back. It's so hard to do. The Chiefs have played so many tight games. Every game is fucking so close. Honestly, the Browns, if they didn't have the worst time management, a fumble out of the end zone, which is the worst call of all time that you have to bring. It should be brought like their 25-yard line and they just get the ball back. I don't understand it.
That is a terrible rule, but it is the best rule ever when it goes in the favor of your team. It's you damn right. That's the rule, baby.
It happened to Derek Carr for the Packers last year. I'm so happy. But
so great.
Yeah, I think the Bills win. Josh Allen's playing out of his mind. Again, defense is great.
Did Patrick Mahomes' injury sort of screw the Browns in that game? Because it was 4th and 7 on that Browns final possession, and they're like, you know what? Let's punt because we got a couple of timeouts, and they got Chad Henne. We're going to punt it back. But hey, they're not punting it back if it's Patrick Mahomes.
There was not a couple of timeouts, Ben. There was one timeout. It was under 4 minutes. They should have never punted it. It was the dumbest punt.
I don't think they should have either. But I think if Pat Mahomes is in that game, they don't punt it.
Yeah, but it doesn't matter who's in the game. Like it's you don't have much time. So if they even break a run for a first down, you're done. You don't have enough time. So it didn't make any sense. They did a stupid challenge that caused a stupid timeout. It was the worst time management / play calling I've ever seen in the history of But it's the Browns. I mean, how else were they going to lose by that awful? Because Stefanski has been so good all year, but yeah, that was fucking awful. It's pathetic.
I agree with you that it was terrible time management, and you should go for it. That is your chance. You already have the ball. Take your chance of getting your 8 yards and getting the first down. What I'm saying is, yes, why won't you hear this out? It's clear.
Me too.
Because if Patrick Mahomes is in that game, you go for it. I'm not saying you shouldn't go for it the other way. I'm saying
I'm in the fucking game. You go for it.
They're absolutely going for it. Maybe my wording was wrong. If Patrick Mahomes is still in the game, they're absolutely going for it on fourth. Because Chad Henne was in the game, they're like, you know what? We have a chance of making this team go 3-0.
Their defense can't shit though. Like there's nothing to prove that they've ever been able to stop shit this entire year. There's under 4 minutes. There's one timeout. The game is over if they get one first down, and that's what happened. There's no reason to not go for that. It was fourth and manageable.
Agreed. I think you're disagreeing.
No, I just think I don't because I think they do the same thing if Mahomes is in there because that's how dumb
they're never punting back to that guy.
Agree to disagree because they did go for it. You can't prove me anything else. Oh, they didn't go for it. You can't prove me wrong.
That's true. I can't go back and change anything up there. God, I forgot the next point I was going to make. Were you in the middle of something still?
No, and I like the over because I like to have fun and I'm going to be celebrating a trip to the Super Bowl. So.
This is gravy for you, right? Like if the Packers win this, you're just going to cheer for the Bills, right? Because you don't want the opportunity to have to face Mahomes.
No, I would like to face Mahomes. I just think Josh Allen and the Bills are going to win that game.
Don't say that. I care for you. Don't do that.
I want Rodgers to beat his ass. Fuck yeah.
DJ,
I'm not scared of nobody.
We text about this line right before we started, and the Chiefs at 3, in my opinion, from what I'm getting out of this, is the line that Vegas is currently comfortable with if Mahomes does or doesn't play. Because if Mahomes was absolutely going to play, I think this line is, I personally think it's significantly higher. So if you can get this still at 3, I'm a firm believer. I think you are as well. I think the majority of the people say, dude, this is the AFC Championship game. What are you doing with your finger for the people that aren't watching online? Are you just twirling something, or do you want me to do a tornado thing? Oh, you are twirling something. I liked it better when you had a football last week. Yeah. The idea that a football could have just completely taken out your screen excited me. So go get the football. Yeah. But I don't think anyone is holding Patrick Mahomes out of this game. And I agree. The one thing that's holding me back, why I'm not making this a carded play, despite the fact that I would say if you're going to bet on it, take the Chiefs straight up, take the Chiefs against the spread, is the fact that it is so hard to get back. But DJ, I'm a broken record because I've said this for like 3 or 4 weeks now. But every single team, every single week that the Chiefs play against, that's their Super Bowl. They're getting their best every single time. The Buffalo Bills are a good team. I'm not going to be ignorant to say that they cannot hang in this game. But if Patrick Mahomes plays, I personally don't think there's a chance that the Bills stay within 3. So I would say, you know what? Before they announce that Patrick Mahomes is going to play,
they haven't won by more than 6.
I know. I know this, but I'm just doing the math. It's weirder to win by 1 or 2 than it is by 3. So I like it at 3. But don't bet a ton just in case Mahomes doesn't play or because something might happen to him. But bet a little bit on this game, assuming that he plays. And assuming that, hey, it's still the damn Kansas City Chiefs at home with Patrick Mahomes. If he plays, they're going to win this game by 3 or more, DJ.
No, they aren't. And I don't care. He's playing, Ben. This is what, like,
so Vegas. Take the bet. That's perfect.
I already bet the money line. I just told you. And he's playing. There's no doubt in my mind he's playing. The spread's not out there like this, setting it up for people to smash the Chiefs if he's not playing in this football game. He's playing. I saw the thing that said if Mahomes plays, I don't know the graphic, yeah, that says if Mahomes plays, it's -3 or -3.5, and if the Chiefs are favored by 3.5, and if he doesn't, it was the Bills favored by like 3.5 or 3 points like that. It was somewhere in that area, so it was that dramatic of a swing. If they were questioning it, they would literally have it at 0 to 1. If they don't know, they would be right. If they had it open, it'd be somewhere between 0 and 1 points.
my lone prop bet on this game bleeds well into what I wanted to talk about, because my lone prop bet on this game is betting Devin Singletary under 41.5 rushing yards. And my question was going to be to you, are they going to try to run the ball this week? Because the game plan against Baltimore, especially like obviously in that first half, was let's throw the ball every damn down. Brian Dable, the offensive coordinator, was playing Madden. Like it was like, oh, we're going to pass every single down. And I think it was partly because you saw what the Ravens did to Derrick Henry and the Titans. And it was the Titans, they're going to run Derrick Henry. Every team knows they're going to run. It just, not everyone can stop that. The Ravens could stop that, and the Bills say, you know what? We don't have a Derrick Henry on our team. They're going to be able to stop Devin Singletary. So Daboll was just like, you know what? We're going to pass every freaking down. But the weird thing is, it didn't work. It didn't work.
I think he just forgot that he wasn't running the ball.
He lost all the running plays from his playbook.
I think he got so caught up, he just forgot he wasn't running the ball and not thinking about it. Like he knew in the back of his mind, like he was subconscious thoughts, like they stopped the run, but I forgot that I still need to mix in a run mix in a water. He forgot to mix in the water. And it wasn't great. I texted you during the game and I was like, Are they going to fucking run the ball ever? And you're like, I keep thinking it's going to be the next play. And it's not.
Every single play, I'm like, yep, here it is. But you want to know, and I text you this, the most disheartening thing ever was not running the ball that many plays in a row. And when you finally run it, you get 3 yards. I really thought the rareness of running the ball, I thought like, oh, they're going to get 12 to 15 easily. They got 3. They got 3 yards.
Oh, well, they're playing against the 26th, I think, worst run defense in the regular season. So they don't have a choice but to run the ball here. So, yeah, they're going to.
That's part of the game plan. Do you think the Bills actually try to run the ball to let's assume Mahomes is playing to keep the ball out of his hands? God. Can you fall in line, damn it?
No, there's no assume. He's playing. I don't
know. Well, I cover my ass a little bit because we're saying the same thing, but by me saying the word assume, I cover myself a bit.
I've hit that every time this year. They're like, yeah, if this person's playing, I'm like, the spread says this, that person's playing, and they've played every single time. Drew Brees, Jared Goff, they played every time, and I've nailed it. So
anyway,
what was the question?
My question was, assuming that Patrick Mahomes plays,
he's playing.
So assuming that he plays, do you think it's going to be like, is it going to be the opposite this time? Are the Bills going to try to control the clock with the run game and just eke this one out to the very end?
I don't think they try to control the clock because that's not what their offense is made to do. They have Stephon Diggs.
Really, no,
They have Beasley. Josh Allen's been playing out of his mind. They will run it. They'll try to be more even. It'll be 60-40. There's going to be more passes than runs, but I don't think they're in a position where they think they need to control it. I think it seems like right now, to me, the Chiefs just don't look like they can just beat the fuck out of anybody. I don't know. There's something about them. Mahomes looks a little off. Maybe he's even going to be a little more off this week, but I don't think they're world beaters. Pittsburgh Steelers 11-0 feeling out of the Chiefs type of deal.
I forgot where I was going with this Chiefs comment. Oh, what you said there, like you don't feel like last year watching them and earlier this year, like, yeah, they have the chance to blow out anyone. Like their offense is potent and they haven't done it. It's been what, 5-6 games at least now where they haven't won by more than 7. But yeah. I also think there's something about that offense with a healthy Mahomes that says it's still there. Like that could happen any single week. I don't expect it though. Like if there's going to be a blowout this weekend, I would say that it's going to be Green Bay over Tampa Bay. I don't think it's this game.
Yeah, well,
I don't think it's going to be either game, honestly. But I'm just saying if there's going to be one, I don't think it's going to be this.
Even if the Chiefs do go down big at some point, which they did last year a couple times, they always have that like weird way to get back into it. So
yeah, it was last year in the divisional round when they were down 21 to the Texans, and they came back and like literally covered the spread against the Texans.
Yeah, that's fucking poor Deshaun Watson. Can't wait for him to be the Miami Dolphins quarterback.
Shut your damn mouth. You also bet the over in this one, DJ. Did you already talk about that?
Yeah, I said I will be celebrating a Super Bowl. Remember, I said I like to have celebrating a Super Bowl. So fuck it. I got nothing.
Did you successfully talk me out of my Singletary under in this one? I think.
I don't know. I have no idea. They have to run it.
I feel like you might have. So I mean, you know what I'm going to tell you, listeners? It was great while it lasted, but take that one away. I kind of think as the game gets closer, DJ, and you and I get more prop bets on this game, we should just tag them to the tweet that we put out, because us as degenerates, we're going to find prop bets on this game and we're going to bet them, especially you. Oh, all right. So I want to go back to you. Let's just say the Packers do win the first game. This game is gravy. And if you win money in that first game and you're playing with that house money, you're going to be all in on this next game. Just loving it. It doesn't even matter what happens. You're just going to be betting, throwing money everywhere.
I'm going to be loose, boy. I'm going to be loose. I'm going to be eating a brisket. I got my new smoker grill. I'm going to be having some beers. I am loose.
All right, let's flip this and prepare you. What happens if the Buccaneers win? Do you even watch the second game?
I go radio silent for the rest of the year. 2022. 2021 sucks. I want 2020 back.
We have no podcast next week, DJ.
I don't plan on them losing. I don't know the scenario if they do lose. Like, I was prepared for them to lose. I was in fucking Disney World last year.
Well, that was your fault. You should have known the Packers were going to lose that when you did that.
Yeah, I wanted them to win, but I knew there was a pretty good chance we're going to lose that game. So, like, I just got drunk in Disney World and just kind of took it. I was like, didn't really affect me that much. I couldn't. It was a blow up from almost the get go, and
right.
That one sucked. But this one, I fully expect to win this. I'm 100% all in on winning this game. Like, it's just, I don't know. I might be jinxing it. I don't think I am. I just have this feeling this year. It's not just this game. It's the Super Bowl. It's the aura around it. I'm ready. It feels like it's the season.
Fair enough. DJ, I want to make one point here about my two-team teasers of the week. Unfortunately, I'm not feeling great about a teaser this week, so my end of the season record is going to end at 13-4-1. If you would be so kind to just, I know you don't have a hat on, but maybe give me like a slight round of applause. 13-4-1 is pretty damn good to end on. Nothing.
Yeah,
I think it's going to be a dick.
No, you just bet the Packers every time. Like, I don't know why you don't just tease the Packers in this game too. Like, just tease the Packers and the Packers again.
Consider it, but the thing is, I'd probably take it the other way just because it would make more math sense to me. DJ, the last thing I want to ask you before I ask you if you have any last second things is this is our annual like fantasy party for one of the leagues that we're in. And did you win that league?
I did. I won the league. And
here's the deal. In case you're not a longtime listener, this league, all of the transaction money, it's $5 per transaction, and there's like 5 or 6 leagues, so the money adds up. It all goes to an open bar. DJ, are you coming to the party on Sunday?
I will never. You remember what happened in the Seattle Seahawks game?
No, I was hammered.
I will never come to an NFC Championship game that the Packers are playing in to that party again. Not after that. I swore it off. You were there. I swore off Packers NFC Championship games at that bar, and I will never show up again for that if the Packers are in the Super Bowl. No.
Here's the deal, though. You won the league. It's a nice payout because it's $100 entry fee. You won the league. So not only are you not going to come and enjoy all the free booze during both games and just enjoy the camaraderie of being around all these great people that are in these leagues, but you're also going to short us on you bringing a dish to pass, because that's the deal. It's potluck. And usually the people that win bring the best stuff. So not only are you going to miss, but you're going to win and run. You're winning, and you're not even giving back to the people that helped fund your winning. What happened there?
Oh, you know what? Are you working on Monday?
No, I took off.
Yeah, well, I'll let you guys take like $20 out of there and buy some beers or something. Buy shots for a couple of dudes.
You heard it here. We have evidence. I get $20, and I'm just gonna get and just. Well, you know what it is. I was gonna say Fireball, but I'm thinking maybe we'll just get a round of some Crown Apple. You know what? One time a year it's Crown Apple and cranberry juice. That is the drink on AFC NFC Championship Weekend.
Yeah, I'll tell Brady, who's the manager of that league, to send me the money. I'll tell him to take $20 out and give it to Ben or Andrew, and buy drinks on it.
I love it. What a nice guy. You've totally spun my opinion on you. I thought you were gonna win and run.
Well, now you called me out on here, might as well.
Gotta. DJ, do you have anything else you'd like to add to this? I thought this was gonna be a 20 to 23 minute podcast. We're over. We're over an hour and 4 minutes.
Let's fucking win the Super Bowl, baby. Let's go. Let's win the championship. Sorry, let's win the NFC Championship. Let's go. Let's fucking
Before we wrap this up real quick, I want to tell you about Fanatics, because if you're going to do any purchasing of memorabilia or apparel on Fanatics, instead of going straight to their website, go to our website first. It's loadedboxpodcast.com. Find one of our Fanatics links. If you make a purchase when you start from one of the links that we provide, we get a small commission, and we buy things like Busch Light that helps us get through and fuel these podcast episodes. So we appreciate your help with that. Speaking of the website, loadedboxpodcast.com, we've just been cranking out the articles and the content. We've got Superflex mock draft for Dynasty Leagues. We've got single QB mock drafts for Dynasty Leagues. We've got NFL draft and Dynasty League player profiles. We've got quite a few of those up now. Pretty much anything you need. If you're struggling in Dynasty League, Mikey put out just a fire article about like time to rebuild, like a 10-step guide, basically like Alcoholics Anonymous, but it's literally step by step. This is what you need to do in order to turn your life around, but in this situation, your Dynasty team around. Check that all out. It's at loadedboxpodcast.com. It's not going to let you down. Thanks, DJ, for throwing that on. The thing does the Atom.
I don't know what that means.
I'm going to dedicate the rest of my night to trying to figure out what does the Atom mean. Man, I'm going to have a headache after this.
Atoms, like science and stuff. So
and it was, yeah. So if you are watching the live stream, it's ATOM. What does the Atom? All right. We'll figure that out. Find us on Twitter at LoadedBox. I told you about the website, loadedboxpodcast.com. Next episode will be, we're assuming, part 1 of a Super Bowl preview, unless the Green Bay Packers lose and DJ is nowhere to be found. We're available on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, YouTube. Subscribe, rate, review. DJ, send us out.
Bye.